Hi all, Mark Slane with the United States Krav Maga Association. I get to do the coolest stuff for a living. I get to go teach Krav Maga. I generally either go to police departments and show the officers Krav Maga, or I go to gyms, generally martial arts schools, to show them how to add a Krav Maga program, get more adults in the door. When I go to these martial arts gyms to show them, I'm generally doing a level 1 instructor certification, I tell them I'm here for three main reasons. One is to teach the level 1 techniques, which is the easy thing. They've pretty much got them down: a punch, a kick, knees. What we do is show them our take on these things, but that's the easy part. Second thing I do is show them a system. I had 3 gyms, 750 members, about 650 of them were adults, so we knew how to get adults in the door, how to keep them interested, how to show real-world self-defense. That was also a workout and all that good stuff. The third thing I do, and probably the hardest thing, is to get across to them what self-defense is. Let them see what real-world violence is, what actually works against real-world violence. And again, this is the hard part because generally they have some baggage. They're black belts in a system, and that system has told them what you're doing is self-defense. During one of my lectures, I actually say, okay, who here teaches self-defense? And of course, everybody raises their hands. My next thing I say is, okay, answer this batch of questions. Who studies real-world violence and what works against it? Who does at least weekly Google searches of violent crime, stabbings, gun violence, home invasions, sexual assaults, gang violence? Who has read Sergeant Rory Miller's Meditations on Violence and Facing Violence? Who has read Gavin de Becker's Gift of Fear? Who has read Sergeant Sanford Strong's Strong on Defense? Who has read Colonel Grossman's On Killing and On Combat? Who has read Mark McYoung's books? Who puts every single thing they teach under a realistic attack? Who puts every single thing they teach under stress and exhaustion? Who has made changes in their curriculum in the last 6 months or even the last year? Okay, who befriends police officers in their community and asks them how crimes are going down, what the scumbags are doing? If you can't answer yes to every single one of those questions, what in the world makes you think you're teaching self-defense? Most of us, we're teaching self-defense techniques. We're not teaching self-defense because we truly don't have a clue what self-defense is. To me, in this age of information, that's unforgivable. I mean, if my sensei is showing me a knife defense, and I just saw one at a gym a few months ago, it was, you had to grab the wrist, do some kind of figure 4, walk forward, and put that person on the ground. It was pretty much predicated on the attacker stabbing once and freezing for about 4 seconds so you can do all that with his arm. I tell, again, during this lecture, you can go Google knife violence, knife attacks. You'll have all kinds of surveillance cams showing you what a real knife attack looks like. Basically they're smacking you with one hand, they're hockey punching, moving their hand like a sewing machine needle. It's violent, it's fast, it's forward, it's knocking you off balance. I can go look at that and say, hey, that knife defense that I was just taught by my sensei, that would not work. That would get me killed. Hence, I won't teach it to anyone else. And yet we don't do this. Most of us want to listen to the word of an expert or the majority of opinion without ever studying things ourselves. But truly, if someone's coming to you to teach or coming to you for self-defense, don't teach crap from your system just because it's your system. That person is truly, literally putting their lives in your hands. To not study violence, to not study, what gangs are doing when they attack somebody, to not study home invasions, to not study what you're getting people ready for, and then looking even further into it, what works against such a thing or what has worked against such attacks. Why wouldn't you do that if you're teaching self-defense? To blindly listen to any sensei and believe that you know what self-defense is just because he told you so, shame on us. Again, it's the age of information. We can look this stuff up. So truly, I guess this is geared more towards self-defense instructors, martial arts instructors. Study. We don't have to listen to someone's word. Yes, I'm very respectful of people that have taught me, but I've gone back and changed things that I was taught, gone back and said, I don't particularly care for that. Let me find something that I think would work better against a realistic attack. Again, I think it was Rob Pincus I got the quote from: whenever we put somebody on a pedestal, growth stops. We're no longer questioning things, we're no longer looking into things, we're, blindly following somebody. And I don't want anybody to do that. I tell my affiliates, don't listen to everything I say, go look at these things yourself. I don't want to be put on a pedestal for sure, because, I'm wrong. We change techniques quite often. We'll code to something better, something that is easier to learn, something that works better for a small person. We make changes all the time. So hence, that's how I make changes. One of my affiliates will point something out or say, hey, I saw this. And again, we'll dive into it. We don't have a system to protect. We teach it this way because that's how we've always taught it. Oh, to heck with that. I want to keep people as safe as I possibly can. And again, this is towards martial arts instructors. I would hope you feel the same way. People are putting their lives in your hands. Mark Slane, United States Krav Maga Association.